Today we're going to talk about how to combine contact center with back office data. So first we'll start out with our questions. So when your contact center interactions come through, do you get all the details you need on a single screen? Is the search and retrieval process of the information automatic and configurable? There are two classifications of problems for contact centers working with data these days, one of which is a legacy system and the other would be a manual process. So in the legacy system scenario, the business decision makers are faced with out-of-date systems upon which they rely for productivity. But these systems often double the need for labor, resulting in higher costs. So for the manual process scenario, the labor efforts are increased for a different reason. Rather than the agent seeing the data as the interaction comes through, they have to go on a fishing expedition for the data. They could be looking for the data in multiple different systems. And you can see that here in the center of the screen, multiple different systems for the data. But what if those were all tied together and automated? So on the left side, you see the interactions, what's going to come through: a phone call, a text message, an email, and then the data pieces. Those are all going to be merged together basically through an API. We're going to be synchronizing that data. So what does a decision maker do when they encounter production bottlenecks and expensive additions to labor? In many cases, that person will find a solution like the unified user experience, but there are caveats to getting all the data together on a single screen. I mean, in order to maximize the efficiency for the agent, the data has to be synchronized between multiple systems in real time. And fortunately, the Ivenix tool can do that. It can synchronize data, bring it all to the screen in real time. We show the right data on the screen at the right time. So let's take a look at what an example of that might look like. So when an interaction comes through, we're going to load up the screen fully with data. Over here on the right side, we've got a knowledge base, parent-child hierarchy, fully searchable knowledge base. We can collapse that. Then we've got an iframe panel with a portal, and we've got a calendar object. So anything that's related to a date or time can be synchronized with the calendar. And then in the center of the screen, we've got our use case data, which could be a ticket, an inbound scripted process, or we could have another screen where we have an outbound guided process. On the left side of the screen, we've got the customer data, customer contact information, and then the customer journey, which is the history of all the interactions that we've had with this customer. I can pop those up. I have those at my fingertips. So again, the idea behind this is, how do we show the right data at the right time? And that is done by combining the contact center data with the use case data, right? So the contact center is going to be basically integrated with the UUE. We have many different contact center integrations with this platform. Nice in Contact, Ring Central, Five9s, just to name a few. It's extraordinarily powerful. And let's take a look at what you get as an end result. So number one, call comes in, text message, email, whatever the case may be, screen is going to fill up with data. That's the first case, right? That data can be synchronized with backend systems, multiple backend systems. So you could say the data in the center of the screen is coming from a synchronization with Salesforce. The data on the left side of the screen is coming from a synchronization with a proprietary CRM. The data on the right side of the screen is coming from an integration with SharePoint. Now, that is possible, but the system is an enterprise-grade CRM on its own. So it does not need an external system to store data, but it can easily integrate and synchronize data with multiple systems. It is, however, once again, it is powerful enough to stand on its own. So let's take a look at what the combination of the data looks like. So you've got your data. So this speedometer right here would be an example of data, a use case data. And then this circle basically would be an example of interaction data. So the interactions of the phone calls, the goal of the phone calls is to book appointments, right? And these are appointments. So you can see we're combining the number of attempts or interactions with the use case data, which is the final data, basically what you need for your business process to function, right? And so not only can you do that on the screen, you can combine all that data from the interaction, from the phone calls, from the text messages. That's all the interactions are, keep in mind, they're on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, right? And I can pop up and see the details of all those interactions anytime that I want. But I also have my use case data and my research data in here, and all my cadencing and process automation all baked into one nice, powerful tool, right? And then I have my KPI dashboards or reports to show the combination of the contact center data with the use case data. So I have an extremely powerful capability to not only make use of this data and maximize my use of it, but also to see reports, drag and drop reports that I can drill down into, and details on that as well. So unlimited KPI dashboards. And then we have the agent desktop, which is fully customizable. Everything is drag and drop. Everything can be synchronized with remote data systems. And the synchronization is real time. The updates of data are real time. So there's a lot that can be done here, but that's an example of how you could combine your data center, your contact center information with your use case data. For more information, go to our website, www.ivinix.com. That's www.ivinex.com. Or send an email to sales@ivinix.com. That's sales@ivinex.com. I want to thank you for your time today, and we look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye.